Yo, what's up guys, I'm back with another video. Today we're diving deeper than my dating prospects into how to make Dancefloor Drum and Bass like Arcando. This guy's track hit harder than my existential crisis every Sunday night. So let's jump right into it. First of all, the original breakdown of the track is available on YouTube on Arcando's channel. I'll drop the link in the description so you can check it out because it's always better to learn from the master than a cheap copy. Wait, did I just roast myself? Anyway, watch it after finishing my video first. If you don't know Arcando, he's that Dutch future bass, future house, slap house, bass house, I don't know, wizard dropping bangers like Ignite, Ascend and Ultrasound. Arcando, if you're watching, can you play this ID in your set and maybe ask Martin to play it too?
Can we stay
Now get the hell out of here!
Like, it's not even about the music anymore. Like, you need to be some sort of either social media, like, creator as well.
Of course, but music is also like one of the biggest parts, I think, still.
His style, punchy drums, massive drops. Let's break it down step by step. Step 1, the drums. The heartbeat of the dance floor. Start with a punchy kick. Layer it with a snappy snare that cuts through the mix like my sarcasm cuts through small talk. Boost the harmonics if needed, then add a lot of top loops and shakers, cymbals, hi-hats, percussions. And for the kick processing, I added EQ to boost the low end frequencies in linear phase. Then the knock patcher preset from 6 sounds with little bit of distortion, knock and white noise. So without effects, the kick sounds like this. On this layer, I added EQ to shape the sound and a transient processor. Then in the main snare layer, I added EQ to boost the harmonics. Then all of them are routed to this bus where I added transient processor, EQ to shape the sound and a clipper to cut the peaks. Snare without effect sounds like this. With effect it sounds like this. Tight and punchy. And for the top loops, EQ to cut the lower frequencies. Same for the crash. Then all of them are routed to the main drum bus where I added a clipper to cut the peaks. So the drums altogether sounds like this. The step 2, the bass. Make it wobble like your life choices. Arcando's bass lines are fillier than my browser history. You want that subby goodness. Add a thick sub bass.
Harmonically thick, you know what I mean?
Thick.
Thick.
Then for the processing, just EQ to cut the high end. Now layer your sub bass with a crunchy, distorted mid bass. Keep it simple but dynamic. Automate the cutoff, sustain, FM or bend. Let me show you how to make this bass from scratch. Start with a saw wave, set the octave to -2, then enable oscillator B. Choose the icon hash kick wavetable. Play with the wavetable position to find the sweet spot and set it to -2 octave. And set the random phase to 0. Why? We want the bass to start at the same phase every time, not random, unless you're doing some wild sound design experiments. Now, enable the noise for that crisp high end. The main trick is filter automation for that choppy vibe. I used MG-Low6 filter and automated the cutoff with LFO set to retrigger mode. This makes the LFO restart every time you hit a note. Set the rate to 1/8, apply the filter to oscillator A, B and noise. It sounds great but lack the lows. So enable the sub oscillator, set it to -2 and apply the filter to it. Tweak the cutoff, distortion and resonance. I just messed up with the distortion and cutoff knobs. Pro tip, always create macros for your presets. It makes the sound more dynamic when you automate it throughout the song. Here, I linked a macro to the LFO1 slope. Think of it as a sustain knob in this case. You can also make macros for wavetable position, FM, bends, endless possibilities. Spend some time crafting your own macros. For processing, I added hyperdimension to make it wide, flanger and phaser with only 7 and 4% of mix, then filter, that's also for macro, then a compressor. By the way, the bass preset is from my upcoming Serum sound bank. I plan to release it this month, but we got Serum 2 before GTA 6. So it feels pointless to drop Serum 1 presets. So I will tweak it more and aim for next month. Then I layered a Reese Bass for extra texture. So for the Reese Bass processing, I added EQ to shape the sound, then routed to the main mid bass bus where I added EQ to shape the sound, camel crusher for distortion, OTT for compression, decapitator for distortion, then again EQ to cut the low ends and shape the sound. Then the mid bass and sub is linked to this main bus where I added a clipper to cut the peaks. So bass altogether without effect sounds like this. With effect it sounds like this. And don't forget to sidechain the kick to the bass so they don't fight like me and my Wi-Fi during a ranked Marvel Rivals match at 2 AM. Also add brass tabs that follow the bass notes to exaggerate those hits. And one tip, if you're using Fruity Balance for side chaining and you add it on the grid, you might hear some clicking sounds. I don't know if that happens to you, but to avoid it, I slightly move it off the grid to the left. This helps prevent the clipping sound. Let me show you. Step 3. The melody. Catchy enough to steal your crush. Now, the melody. Go for something bright. A square wave sound like this. Keep it simple but bold. Like my pickup lines that still get me ghosted. Let me tell you how to make this sound from scratch. Well, full disclosure, I did not create this lead from scratch. I copied it from Arcando's breakdown video, so don't judge me. I'm just being honest. Start with the basic shapes wavetable, set it to square wave. Link an LFO to the coarse pitch of oscillator A with a fast rate like 1/128 and set it to 2%. That's it. For basic processing, overdrive distortion, hyperdimension to make it wide, multiband compressor, then EQ to cut the lows. Now, add some reverb and delay to push it back in the mix, but don't drown it. Arcando balances melody and bass like a pro. So, for the processing, I added EQ to shape the sound and cut the lows, then OTT for compression, camel crusher and decapitator for distortion, then EQ to shape the sound. I added delay and Valhalla room for automation, then again I added EQ to reduce the low mid, then Fruity filter for automation, then a clipper to cut the peaks, and to sidechain the leads, I added Fruity balance but with a shorter sidechain length. We don't want the same strong pumping effect as the bass. Instead, we need a more subtle sidechain for the leads. Then in the second part of the drop, I added some supportive lead layers. And for the processing, EQ to shape the sound, camel crusher for distortion, OTT for compression, then again EQ to shape the sound, then Fruity delay and reverb for automation, then a clipper to cut the peaks, and a stereo shaper to make it wide. Then it's routed to the main bus. So yeah, that's all for the lead. Step 4. Simple chords and plucky chords for warmth and harmony. For chords, keep it simple. For the processing, frequency shifter to create the stutter effect, then EQ to shape the sound, OTT for compression, again EQ to boost the high end, then a stereo shaper to make it wide. Now, plucky chords. I automated the sustain and link it to the bass sustain automation so they flow together. Step 5. Ambience. The key of success. Ambience is everything. Add ear candies like Ambiences from my upcoming pack. For the processing, EQ to cut the low end, frequency shifter for stutter effect, again EQ, stereo shaper to make it wide, and that's it. Then layer more ambience and some vocal shouts. So ambience altogether sounds like this. And for the processing is just some reverb, delay and EQ. That's all. Step 6. Arrangement. Build it up, drop it hard. Dancefloor DnB is all about that build up drop combo like Jeff and Scarlet Witch's ult in Marvel Rivals. Start with a 16 bar build up drum loop, then gradually add elements like kick, snares, crashes, downlifters. Build tension with arps and vocal snippets. And a filtered lead. The drop fill. Also add some super saws to spice it up. Reese Bass. And and a soft piano. Then a lot of ambience. I added volume automation for the piano and the super saws, which gradually decreases throughout the build-up. Arcando's drop hit like a plot twist in a Netflix show. Stack those drums, bass and melody, then switch it up in the second drop. Maybe a 4 to the floor kick pattern. Keep the energy high, because if the dance floor is not bouncing, you're basically me at a family reunion. Awkward and ignored. Let's talk about intro, verse and the break. The intro starts with a soft piano. I layered a lapse piano and electric piano with a low pass filter. Then added saturation, compression and EQ for processing. Here's a small but effective tip. In the break, when we introduced a Reese Bass, I used an EQ to cut the lows of the piano, only where the bass plays. It keeps the mix clean. The rest is all atmospheres. So the atmosphere altogether sounds like this. The verse is similar, just added more ambience and transition elements like orchestral hits and shakers, plus a cool transition synth layer. It's a saw wave with volume automated by an LFO set to Hertz. I'm tweaking the rate, then I added reverb, OTT and saturation. I don't got the answers. And in this part, I added this extra atmosphere. Then in the next part, everything is same. I just added this ride loop. In the break, I added this reverse one shot. Let me show you how you can make this one shot. So this is the first note. Then I added a lot of reverb. Then record the one shot. Delete the silence part. Now drag and drop it into the playlist. Now duplicate it and reverse it. Then I added drums with a low pass filter. Some transition elements. A sustained string. Then it transitioned to the build-up. That's pretty much all for the break. The whole track is pretty much same. Throughout the track, I removed some elements in parts and added new ones. Like before the build-up, I threw in drop drums with a low pass filter and some top loops. Then after the drop, we have this section. We have the same piano, Reese Bass or the drums with less percussion loops and ambience. That's it. I exported the lead, then added delay, fruity filter for automation and balance. I'm not using that. The only extra elements are these ambient loops. Then the second part of the verse or break, I don't know, the piano shifted to more like grand piano, if that makes sense. So I added this factory preset from Serum, sound like this. With piano, it sounds like this. And the rest is same. In the second part of the drop, we change the rhythm to 4 on the floor. So we have less top loops, ambience and crashes. Then we transition back to the drum and bass rhythm. And yeah, that's pretty much all for this track. I hope I didn't miss anything in the video. If I missed something, let me know in the comments. Engagement. So for the mastering, on pre-master, I added EQ and a fruity balance for build-up automation. On the master, just a limiter. And there you have it. Dancefloor DnB like Arcando. Now, go make some bangers. If you want the project file, it's in the description. Grab it. It helps me keep making these videos. Drop a like if you learn something new, subscribe and hit the bell icon. It helps the channel. I'm dropping knowledge faster than my self-esteem on a Friday night. Hope I don't get a copyright claim on this track, but
are you sure about that?
Let's check out the final result.
Give me something to believe in, fire in my heart. Take a chance now, hold your hand out, shot in the dark. I don't got the answers, all I know, you gotta burn it to the embers, just let go. Can you feel it, feel it? We've been waiting all of our lives. Can you feel it, feel it? Light it up and let it ignite. Can you feel it, feel it? We've been waiting all of our lives. Can you feel it, feel it? Light it up and let it ignite. We've been to focus to the light of day. I don't got the answers, all I know, you gotta burn it to the embers. Just let